Today what we're going to be doing is the clutch in this 2010 335i. I got a Spec stage 3 clutch with a M factory single mass flywheel. Here it is in all of its glory. This is a springless clutch plate, so it's going to be aggressive. Super aggressive. So we got the pressure plate right here and the M factory single mass flywheel. This is an upgrade over the stock one because the stock is a dual mass flywheel. This is actually really light because it's lightweight. Now that we have the car jacked up, first thing we're going to do is take off the exhaust mid pipe. Right now the flange bolts are 13 millimeters. We're going to take those off right now. So we got all the bolts out of the flanges here. Next up, we're going to take this bolt out. Okay, for this bolt, we're going to be using one of these sockets. This is a universal. They're pretty good for any kind of bolt, especially the external Torx. This is a 5/16. I'm using an American because the American actually fits better than metric for some reason. We're going to be taking this brace off. It's a 13 with an 8 millimeter on the back. Okay, now we're going to take off this brace that is kind of holding the exhaust up. It's going to be a T50 Torx bit. Okay, we've got these two rear bolts for this brace. They are 18s. Next up, we take the two hanger bolts out. They're 18 millimeters. Okay, I left two bolts in this so they wouldn't drop on top of me. I'm going to take those out and it should drop. Now the exhaust is out. So my exhaust was cut right here because I did a performance exhaust mod, but yours isn't cut. There's 4 bolts. I believe that one's a 13 and the 5/8 external Torx on each side, and the whole muffler come down. Now we're going to do a little open downpipe startup because YOLO. Alright, right now I'm just taking off one of my plastic shields. I'm missing most of them, like the engine and the tranny one. So I'm just taking this one off real quick because it's in the way. It's an 8 millimeter, by the way. Okay, now I'm going to take off this heat shield so that we can have access to the drive shaft. It's going to be a bunch of little 8 millimeters and looks like 110 or 12 right here. So we'll get to it. Okay, now the drive shaft is exposed so we can get at the Guibo bolts and the center support bearing. Now we're going to take the drive shaft off. They're 18 millimeters. We need a socket and a wrench for the back. Oh my goodness gracious, dude. Those are on there. Oh. So now I got Christian manning the e-brake so that I can spin the drive shaft to get the bolts into a proper spot so I can take them off. That's 2. Okay, let off. On. Now I'm going to repeat this process till they're all out. Okay, I got all 6 of these out. Now I'm going to take the 2 bolts for the center support bearing out so that we can drop this drive shaft down. These are 13 millimeters. Now I'm going to try to finagle this drive shaft out somehow. Stuck a flathead in between here and pried it back so it pulls. Or you can drop it and just let it hang. Okay, so to make it easier, we're going to pull the downpipes because it looks like the train's kind of in the way. So we're going to pull off the O2s and this V-brace right here. Okay, I'm taking these out now, 16 millimeter. Impacts are a way of life. She's out. Okay, in order to access the V-bands on the downpipes, you need to loosen and move forward the steering rack with a 3/8 external Torx and 15 millimeter wrench on the top. There's one. I lied, by the way, it was a 16, not a 15 for the top bolt. Hey! Right now, I'm loosening one of the V-bands for the downpipe. It's a 13 millimeter. Ratchet wrench is the easiest tool for this job. Bolts take forever to get out because they're so fucking long, but we'll see you when they're out. Before we go any further, I want to disconnect the pre-cat O2 sensors. So we're going to be taking this cover off. It's a bunch of 8 millimeters. Taking off the 3 T30 Torx bits on the engine cover so we can gain access to the pre-cat O2 sensor. Now we're gonna pull it off. So you twist them out and then you squeeze this and pull. Bada bing, they're out. I was gonna pull the cords out of little clips all the way around. Now they're free. So now that the O2s are nice and free up top, this V-band is loose. Should be able to finagle it out. Got the V-band bolt all the way out now, so it's nice and loose. Just gonna spread it. Downpipe's gonna pop right out. Twist it a little bit. Pull on that O2 cord because it's getting hung up somewhere. And that is one downpipe out. Anybody with an N54, if you're wondering where wastegate rattle comes from, that's it right there. Junk. Okay, now we're gonna get the second downpipe off. You have to reach your arm way up into here to get the V-band off. Make sure whenever you're reinstalling, you put anti-seize on fucking everything that gets hot. So I got the last V-band bolt out. I'm gonna go up here and wiggle it. The V-bands are kind of sticky right now, so I'm gonna trying to stick something in between them to loosen them up like that. All right, ready? Dude, this thing, it's the shit. 2 taps, dude. That's all it takes.
Invest in a ball peen.
Now the second downpipe is out. Yay. Now I'm going to be taking out the slave cylinder. It's a 14mm. 2 bolts. They're kind of a pain, so you got to use a swivel. To get the top slave cylinder bolt out, we had to use like 2 feet worth of extensions and a wobble. This is what it looks like. I pretty much just stuck it in from the back of the transmission in. Okay, we're gonna start taking the bell housing bolts out now. We got 1, 2, 3 small bolts, which I'm using a 5/16, and 4 larger ones on the bottom. That is a 9/16. Alright, we got most of the bell housing bolts out. Now we have to lower the transmission a little bit so we can see the top bolts. So, put this jack right here. I'm going to take out these 4 bolts, which are 13s, and lower the transmission slightly. Alright, we got a bunch of extensions right now, enough to reach from the rear of the transmission to the front. I'm gonna feed this through here. Okay, I just took the 2 10mm bolts out of this, so if you drop this down. Now I'm taking the clip out for the shifter. You gotta stick a flathead in it, twist, and push. Like so. Okay, to get this whole assembly off, you need to pull this clip off by prying. Once it's all the way up like this, you can pull it out. And there it is. Okay, so there's 2 pins, same as the other side. So we're gonna pull the shift knob off just by holding the bottom and pulling it with crazy strength like that. Shift boot comes off. Now there's some foam that comes out. Oh my god, it's possessed! What the hell?
There you go.
Okay. There she is. So I'm just gonna unplug this cable. Got most of the bell housing bolts out, I think all of them. We'll give you a little diagram of where they are once it's off. Okay, we're on the last bolt. It's in the very, very, very top. And it's a 3/8. Ah, yeah! That's what I'm fucking talking about.
It's rid of my hand.
That just fucking hurts so bad. Wow.
Woo! There it is.
Fuck you.
That was pretty fun to watch.
The training's out. We're gonna take off the pressure plate now. We got a T40 Torx bit. Now we're going to take off the flywheel with a T60 Torx socket. look at that, dude. That's not mint. So we got somebody in the front holding the crankshaft while I loosen these. All the bolts are out now. Just gonna wiggle, 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 wiggle. This thing is probably gonna be super fucking heavy. It's gonna fall on my chest and break my ribs. It'll be awesome. Whoa.
Heavy.
Yeah.
There it is.
Putting up the new flywheel. Super single mass sickness. I accidentally touched the face of this, so I'm gonna have to clean it again. Also, we got brand new bolts because you're supposed to get brand new bolts. Alright, we got torque wrench set it to 88 foot-pounds. And we're going to torque these in a star pattern. 3rd time's the charm. It's dripping right on my chest. Installing the clutch and disc with the alignment tool. Next, pressure plate.
Oh, I see, I see, I see.
That's more like it.
What are you talking into?
These I'm gonna do by hand. My torque wrench doesn't go down this low. Alright, she's all tight. I'm ready to rock. Next up, we gotta put the pivot arm and throw out bearing in. I'm not exactly sure why it came with a new pivot arm, but I'll put it in anyway. What you have to do, unclip this. It's clippy, dude. A little diamond shape goes on the side, like this.
Alright, so the way you put this in, there's a little diamond shape. You'll make sure that's on the sides. And it just kind of clips in, like so.
Got some regular multi-duty high temp grease. I'm gonna smear it on this shaft right here. Just lube it up a little bit. The throttle bearing rides on this, so it's better for it to be greased. Now we're just gonna slide this in. While simultaneously opening up this little clippy dad on the side. Now when the slave pushes on this, it pushes forward, disengaging the clutch. Ready to put the transmission back in. It's gonna be fun.
This is my favorite part, right here. Let's go.
So you need to go up more?
Yeah, it's gonna be flush. Line up fucking mint.
Now she's flush.
Yeah, oh, yeah, dude.
Found the honey hole.
Woo!
Found the honey hole.
Alright, this transmission is the heaviest fucking thing on the planet. Back at it again with the line extension. That's it though, dude. Battery exhausted, dude. China.
133,000.
All the tranny bolts are in. Now we're putting the slave cylinder back in. Alright, slaves in. All tightened down. Now we're going to do the tranny mounts real quick. It's a 13 millimeter. Tranny mounts out. Yeah, got the new tranny mounts. They're UUC upgraded mounts. That's the way she goes. Okay, a little extra we got here. Putting a short shift kit in. First thing you want to do, okay, 2 flat heads or whatever, something flat that you can stick into these little plastic things. You want to rotate it clockwise by 90 degrees. Like that. I think that was 90 degrees. And it just pops right out. Now we gotta take the short shift. Reinstalling the shifter. Okay, the shifter linkage is in. The 2 10mm bolts in the back are tight. Everything should be good to put the drive shaft back on.
Alright. Okay, so that's pretty much the job. So what you're gonna do from there is just bolt up the, finish the bolts on the Guibo, connect the drive shaft, reconnect the exhaust, get everything back in line, and then you should be good to go. You're gonna break in the clutch for the amount of time that the manual that comes with it says. In our case, it's 500 miles. Some of them are 1,000. It depends on which clutch you get. We're not gonna do that though. We're leaving the exhaust off and the drive shaft down just because we are currently working on single turboing the car, and we're documenting the whole thing, and these videos are soon to come, probably about a week. We're gonna start tearing everything down and getting everything ready to put the single turbo in to make some serious power in this car. So definitely subscribe, stay tuned for more, and we're gonna make this thing a monster, so you're definitely gonna be here for it.
Monster.
Monster.